Hi guys. Hi everyone.
Uh, yeah, hello, Ellen. Thank you for joining. Please wait. Like we'll start at within 4 or 5 minutes, so everyone can join.
Sure, sure. Let me know when we have to start.
Yes.
Hi Amit. Nice to meet you. Also, guys, feel free to put in your questions by that time. Then we'll introduce and get started properly. You can feel completely comfortable to ask any questions you have. Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Kirti. Uh, yes. Actually, we already asked in Google form as well. And first, we will take the questions from Meet itself, and after that, like if we have time, we will go through the form questions.
Sure, sure. Yeah. By the time we are getting started for everyone else, feel completely comfortable and chill with me, just like you're talking to a friend. Uh, I'm just 4 years senior to you. I have been in the same college. I have gone through the exact same things that you're going through right now. Not maybe exactly same because their COVID was not there, but mostly yeah, I know what you guys must be going through, right? Uh, okay, already one question is there. Do I miss an ITC? Should I start answering? I don't know. I'm very excited. Should I start or should we wait?
Yeah, you can start. I mean, but okay, yeah, you can. It's like as much as you are excited, we are also excited. So yeah.
Yeah. We'll get started in 2 minutes, guys. Put in your questions. I'll answer all of them. Promise.
And it's better, guys, if you ask like directly unmute and ask. That would be more like we are already bound with the online and someone don't have so much interaction. So it's more better if you ask directly to unmute. So yeah.
Yep. Right now, it's like you guys are all on mute, right? So it's a bit hard to connect, but okay. I get it. So if whatever you're comfortable with, okay, if you're comfortable putting questions in the chat, do that. If you're comfortable unmuting yourself, turning on your video, I'm okay with anything.
First, tell about internship, sir.
Tell about internships.
Yeah.
Sure, Jaiprakash. We'll do that as soon as we
Yeah.
get started.
Yes, Japrakash, we start at five five. So yeah, just 2 more minutes.
Yep.
Hello, ma'am. By the time everyone join and we'll start, just a casual question. Do you miss NITC and like its vibes and all?
Hi, Rajni. So NITC has been the place where I have learned a lot and grown so much, right, as a human being, and obviously, as that is the only college I have had. So the college life was just awesome. I did everything other than studying. So I was part of LND, I was part of FS, and I was part of a lot of things going on. Uh, I obviously miss it a lot, especially having friends around all the time and being able to do whatever you want anytime. Like when you start working, you only take leaves, right? You're supposed to be working all the time. But yeah, NITC was a much simpler and chill place.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your answer.
Uh, let's get started.
Yeah. Let's start.
Yeah.
I think
So,
it's
hi
yeah.
everyone. Starting from the beginning. Okay, I am Keerti. For those of you who don't know me, I have a YouTube channel. So, guys, the CP Hub organizers, if you could just put all my links also in the chat box, it will give people some context, right? My LinkedIn, Insta, and YouTube. These three links, if you can just put in the chat box. So during COVID, I started explaining some hard questions on YouTube. And since then, I started my content creation journey. I've been creating content on LinkedIn and a bit on Insta also. Like Insta is more of my own place, chill, and I answer your questions. LinkedIn is very professional place. YouTube is where tutorials, mock interviews, and a lot of things are there. So I've entered this entire place from a triple E background. So in NITC, I was from triple E background, and uh, at that time, I did not know I want to get into coding. So for those of you who are from non-coding background or are women, can definitely relate to a lot of things that happen. Okay, and even if you're from CS background, you can ask me questions related to software engineering, about internships, about jobs, or anything at all. Okay, or about professional life in general. Feel completely comfortable to ask me any questions you have. Okay, treat me like a friend and make complete use of this whatever time you have, 1 hour or so. Ask me as many questions as you can. Okay. Let's get started with the questions in the chat box. How do you manage GPA and coding side hustle together? I'm aiming for 9 plus GPA. So I'll be honest. For me, triple E getting a good GPA was anyway very hard, right? And I knew I don't want to get into triple E like work. I just needed a GPA to get the cutoff, right? And most of the cutoffs for good companies in NITC was 8 GPA, at least at that time. So, and 8 was considered to be a good GPA, right? So I had exactly like 8.03 or 8.04 something GPA. I tried my best to manage that much. Like in first year, I had 8.9 something, then it went down 8.2, 8.1, something. But overall, I maintained 8 plus so that I can clear the cutoff and set in the placements. So, see, GPA most of the times is very useful. Firstly, to clear the cutoff. Secondly, it's a very good impression that, oh, 9 plus pointer, okay, good. Oh, topper, okay, good. That is how it is. But it is not like the companies are going to hire you based on your GPA. They are going to hire you based on whether you are able to answer the interview questions and your personality, how you do in the interview as such, right? So GPA is just the cutoff and it's just a plus point. It's not the most deciding factor. So if you think you can get 9 plus GPA, very good. You can work very hard and get it done. Like you will obviously get extra appreciation for it at, oh, 9 plus pointer. But it's not like you're going to get a job because of it. I hope I answered that properly. Just, if I'm not answering your question well, if you want more answers, just keep asking in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask me. Okay. Now, since we have started full fledged, throw your questions at me. Ask me anything you want. Okay. As a non-CS background, which section I have to focus more on theory, or can I go through coding with theory simultaneously? Hi Shivam, thank you for asking the question. From non-CS background, see, first thing you have to get your basic theory correct, right? Like I remember, uh, being a non-CS student, I had a lot of struggle understanding the basic things, like which language should I focus on, or the basic syntaxes. Because in GFG, if you see in C++, they don't use STL and all, right? And in most of the competitive programmers and all, they use STL. So there was a lot of basic confusion itself. So what I had few very close friends from CS. So that was one or two things. And then I had some seniors also. So these two, three people I would, keep bugging. I would ask them to firstly also review my code. I used to ask them my doubts and all of that, because being a non-CS person, it is very hard to figure out everything yourself. So I would say have people around who are also doing similar things so that you can discuss with them. Start going through some basic theory at least. When you are going through DSA, you should know what arrays, LinkedIn trees, graphs are, some theory of it. But you can definitely do both parallelly. More than theory, obviously, being able to solve questions matters, syntaxes matters. I remember I used to just, I had gone through a lot of coding interview books. So my concepts were very clear. My theory was very clear. But because I did not practice enough, I remember uh, it was Goldman Sachs, and I was really working hard for this company. And in that, I was not able to get the syntax right, and we couldn't Google, right? Because it's a coding round. And the input output syntax I was making wrong because I was so confused. Whenever I used to read in C++, Java, C. I got very confused and I got the syntax wrong. And that's why I was not able to compile. I knew the entire logic of it, but because I had not practiced enough, I was not able to clear it. So I would say that please do practice also, and not just practice on lead code and all, practice contests also, because in lead code you solve like a small function, but some companies might expect you to write the entire code itself. So make sure you practice all sorts of questions, not just one function, but writing the entire code. Write as much code as you can if you are applying for coding jobs. As simple as that. Also, I'm assuming most of you are here for coding related jobs and software engineering jobs. If that is not the case, ask me separately, because right now I'm assuming that you want to get into software engineering, and that's why I'm replying to the questions accordingly. Okay. I am doing BSc in data science and I am doing front end web development in React. Or next plus I am doing coding in Python and C++. What should be my way for internships and placements? Hi Vaibhav, you are clearly doing a lot, and I'm sure a lot of others are going like, "What is this? Why is this guy doing so much?" Can you guys relate to me? But Vaibhav, already you're doing quite a lot, so I would say that. But please do be active on LinkedIn. Firstly, make a good profile over there. Whatever courses you're taking, you update over there. Make sure you connect with a lot of people, a lot of seniors, and a lot of recruiters. Okay, there are also a lot of internship opportunities through a lot of companies right now, like GFG does, or Coding Ninjas does, or Coding Blogs does. Usually, see people like me, we keep posting such opportunities online that there's an internship test happening or there's a scholarship test happening. Make sure that you're very active on LinkedIn and on sources like this so that you are aware of the opportunities and you can grab them, right? One thing is that, okay, you are already studying and you are ready for the interviews, but you also have to make sure that you get enough interviews, right? So make sure that you are active on LinkedIn and you keep good contacts over there so that you get more opportunities. Hi Abhimanyu, what is the appropriate roadmap to learn coding? Are you from a CS background or a non-CS background? First of all, that. See, sadly, for placements, coding means just DSA, right? They will expect you to solve DSA questions. See, internships is a plus point. So projects is a plus point, development is a plus point, but all of these are plus points. These are never like, if you don't know this, we are not going to hire you. But DSA is one of the things that is usually a prerequisite that if you want to clear the round, you have to be good at DSA. So DSA is something that I would highly suggest all of you to do. Start with basic data structures like arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues, but also do at least basic questions of trees and graphs. I know very less companies ask questions on trees and graphs, companies like Samsung or Goldman Sachs or very less number of companies will ask you trees graphs, okay? But at least basic data structures you should be very good at it. You should be able to tell the time complexity, the space complexity of questions. You should be able to analyze the questions well, and you should be able to come up with a lot of solutions, like not just one solution but feasible solutions. You should be able to tell, okay, we can do this or this or this, like we can apply sorting or a two pointer approach. So these are some basic approaches that you should know, that okay, can we do dynamic programming or can we do greedy approach, or can we do a BFS or a DFS? These are some basic DSA things that you should definitely know. So first of all, work on your DSA. DSA is data structures algorithms for those who are completely new and don't know. Start with basic DSA theory and start coding. Maybe for beginner level, you can start with something like HackerRank, or you can do CodeChef or Code Forces, and then you can go on to Lead Code or Interview. But there are so many, there are enough platforms. Just pick any, or you can just refer to GFG. There are enough resources available. Okay, just get started with DSA. That is one thing. And if you want to build a strong profile, get started with maybe finding an internship or working on a project or working on your development skills. These are all add-ons. These are not prerequisites. Okay. I have AI related projects and some web dev projects in hand. Do CS related companies give weightage to that? Hi, Rishabh. Definitely, companies will give weightage to that. If you put this in your resume, people are going to start asking you questions about that. One thing, do not add in your resume anything that you are not completely sure of. Add projects that you have really, really done. Okay. Because when you add something like that, and when someone sees that, okay, this is in your resume, they start asking you questions related to that, and your entire interview might go in that direction itself. Okay. So if you're writing somewhere that you worked on this project or you have done this development, be ready to answer all sorts of questions around that. And only if you think you can answer those questions, you put it in your resume. These are all your plus points. So if I see someone has worked on a project, I'm going to keep asking about the project, and a lot of time will go in the interview in that itself. So you're giving the interviewer direction. You're also telling that, okay, I already know this, so I can bring something to your plate, and I've already done some development, right? So it's a plus point to have, definitely. What should be done to crack internship of companies which come in the start of third year? I am from civil. Hi, Vaibhav. In NITC, as far as I know, okay, at least when I was there for civil and for other branches, we don't get that much opportunity to sit in the internship placements, right? So I would say apply off campus also. For on campus, make sure that your placement representatives try that you get the internship opportunity, but it usually happens very less. So right now I'm assuming that you want to get into software engineering. If from civil you want to get into civil itself, then it's a completely different area, right? I'm talking about software engineering. For software engineering, people from other branches, the main struggle is itself getting into placements, like getting the chance to sit for the interview, right? I am from Triple E, so a lot of companies did allow me, but still not all companies used to allow me to sit. For civil, biotech, and all, it is even less a number of companies. So your opportunities itself become less. So you have to work harder and make sure that whichever opportunity you are getting, you can grab it for sure. For CS students, what will happen is that they will get so many opportunities, so many companies will come that even if they're like basic level, they are good enough, they'll end up getting the job, right? Because at least 5 6 LPA wala job they'll get. But for people from other branches, they have to struggle to get the opportunity to sit for placement itself. So that is the major struggle. Firstly, placement representatives have to do better for you to be able to sit in the placements. Secondly, now there's a lot of opportunity off campus also. Okay, LinkedIn, please use it properly and message a lot of recruiters, apply to a lot of companies. There are so many companies who take like internship rounds, or there are hackathons, or there codathons where you can solve questions and you get opportunity to interview for them. So make sure that you join a lot of like Telegram groups or Discord servers or things like that, where you're very aware and you can use the opportunity to get jobs. I hope I am answering your questions fine. If you think I'm going very fast or very slow, or if you think I haven't answered anything well, please feel free to tell me in the comments or unmute yourself or anything. Okay, it's completely chill. Okay. Hmm. Is high rating in code chef or code forces very necessary in interview? Hi, Gyan Rajan. No, it's not at all necessary. I still don't have a good rating in code chef or code forces. I never had, and there are so many people who have never had. Competitive programming is like a sport that you do, which will make you very good and will make sure that you're very good at DSA to answer interview questions. It is a plus point because as soon as someone sees that you have a good rating, what will happen? People will assume that, okay, you are good at DSA, but they will also ask you questions accordingly. Okay. So for those who think they can do cheating and have a good rating and that will help them, it's not going to help them because it's just an attractive thing on your resume. But in the end, again, you have to be able to answer the questions on in the interview, right? So if you put like you have a great rating by say some means like cheating and all, and then in the interview you're not able to answer the basic question, they are just going to come to know that okay, this guy has done cheating or this is not right, so they are going to automatically reject you. Okay, be completely transparent and honest in your resume, one thing. And see, having a good rating on Codeforces, CodeChef, or any competitive programming platform is going to give you extra points, and they will be sure that okay, you are good at DSA, but it is not a must. It is definitely not a must. If you are practicing on lead code GFG and you can answer all their questions in the interview round, you will get the job. You don't need a rating. Okay, competitive programming is a plus point. It is not a necessity. Definitely not a necessity. You can also do open source projects like that. You will get opportunities to work on real dev things and stuff like that, and you will get real experience. Okay, I hope I answered that question fine, Gyan Ranjan. Okay, now coming back to Vikas's question. I'm also from Triple E, so I have doubt related subjects. I want to ask, there are any subjects help from Triple E during cracking the interview, like MPMC? So for software rounds, you are asking if questions like MPMC will come up, right? So honestly, I also did not like triple E subjects only. So I said beforehand itself that okay, I'm not good at this. But what happens if you have done a bit of coding in MPMC and all, and if you write it in your resume, people start asking you those questions. See, being from Triple E, if I right away tell them I have not done much coding, they obviously can't ask me those questions. So they're going to go back to see what is it that I can ask. And then they will see, okay, maybe this is somewhat remotely related to coding, and maybe the person might also be from Triple E, and they'll end up asking questions. But if you already are even decent enough in DSA, there's less chances that they are going to ask you this. Okay, so if I'm interviewing someone who has mentioned in the resume that they are good at DSA, I'm not going to ask them why MPMC. I'll ask them, okay, I'll focus on DSA. But if they are from non-CS background and they're telling me that I don't know coding, I don't know DSA, I don't know any of these things, then I'll go on to ask things like, okay, what do you know? Tell me about MPMC, right? So these are definitely things that people can ask, but the chances are very less. I would say just have the basics clear and be ready for the worst case. But there are less chances that people are going to ask it. It is possible. Obviously, some interviewers can go like, "Oh, let's see how much of Triple E do you know? You have good. You have such a good pointer. You have not. You don't have a good pointer. Let me see if you have your basics right." Interviews can do that, but mostly if you focus on your resume, see, resume is something where you direct your interview. If you mention on your resume that you're good in DSA, if you practice on lead code, if you are on code forces, code chef, or if you have done some internship or open source, it's going to give interview a direction. Like interviewer is going to focus on that. Okay, so whatever you're going to mention over there, interviewer will most probably keep asking you questions about that. So be very, very thoughtful about what you're adding over there. I hope I'm answering your questions fine. Please keep telling me if I'm answering properly or not. Okay. Uh, Prasumarthi Soma is asking me what are the things we should do before approaching a recruiter. Okay, first of all, upload. Make sure your profile is well updated. You put everything in detail, write in proper language. I also have a video of do's and don'ts on LinkedIn pros, like don't let LinkedIn get to your head. And there are a lot of videos around this. Okay, do watch this before approaching any recruiter. Make sure you write in proper English. Make sure you send your resume. Also, do some background research that, okay, which company am I messaging to and what do they usually do? Why would you be a right fit? Like, write a proper message, okay, that, okay, I am this person, I have this much experience, or I'm in this year right now, this is my resume, I want to apply for this and this job role. Okay, usually every company has their jobs website. Like if you're applying for Intuit, they'll have jobs.intuit.com or careers.amazon.com. So every company has their jobs or career site. Okay, go through that and see if they have any opportunities available. They will mostly have a job ID. You can message that to the recruiter with your message. If that is not the case, you can ask, are there any things available? But usually try to keep it as precise as possible. Because if I'm getting a lot of messages, think from recruiters' end, right? There will be thousands and lakhs of students who will message them. So, what is it that will make you apart from other students? It will be how you message, what exactly you write in the message, and what exactly is your intention. So, you have to make sure that you look different from the rest of the students. Okay. So, make sure it's proper English. Make sure you send your resume and it's properly updated and the resume is in proper template. And then try to find the job ID, why you are a right fit, and give proper reasoning. Don't go like I'm very hardworking and that's why I think I'll be very right fit for you. Don't do that. Okay. I hope I have answered. If not, ask me your doubts. Can you give a brief idea about what are open source like GSOC? Okay. Uh, See, right now there are so many opportunities available, but okay, what is open source? Let me tell you that. Open source is basically, see, some projects, their entire code is available online. Okay. Now development is very different to DSA and all. So what happens is that a lot of people, not just the students, even professionals, what they do, they contribute to these projects whose code is available online. Code is available online, meaning they are open source. Okay. So now, since it's open source, I will try to go through the project and see, okay, what is needed? How can I contribute to the project? Maybe they have some features that they want to implement, or there are some bugs that they want to solve. So there are sites that are available for open source. There are GitHubs, like they will have things like, you know what, you can come contribute over here, you can solve a bug, or you can make a new feature. So when someone adds it in the resume, what happens, the interviewer will come to know that you already have some experience of doing some real life development. Okay, because when you do just DSA, you're basically telling that, okay, I am good at logical reasoning, I'm good at problem solving, but development is very different, right? So when you start contributing to open source, it becomes a plus point that the person has worked on some real projects. Okay, so it's a plus thing to have. And it's a basically, open source is closest to the real work that you're going to do, right? So that's, in companies also, this is what we do. There is a product, we add features to it, or we solve bugs, or we work on a new project, right? A new project is very rare. It is usually features or bugs, which is exactly what you do in open source, but you do it for the code that is available for everyone else. You get it reviewed. If your code is actually pushed, and if you are actually adding some value, you can add it to your resume that have contributed to so and so projects, and that's definitely a plus point, because interviewers go like, oh, this person has already started coding in college itself, they have already made some contributions, the person seems to be interested in coding. So yes, a right fit for the company. Okay. Again, see, open source internships, or code chef, code forces rating, all of these are plus points in your resume. None of this is a necessity that if they don't have this, we are not going to hire them. But if I have two candidates, and one who doesn't have open source experience and one who has open source experience, and they have performed equally well in the interview, they have decently performed well, I'm obviously going to prefer someone who has done open source, right? It is just a value addition. in in placement especially, see, you are in a competition sort of thing. uh, Consider it a healthy competition, not saying that, try to pull someone down, but usually companies come like, what, we are trying to going to hire at least, like, five people, or say two people, or 10 people. If they're going to want to hire these many people, they're going to try to pick up the best. So you have to try to add as many values to your resume and to yourself as you can. So if you firstly be good at DSA, if with that you can do open source contribution, or you can do competitive programming, do any one of those things. Don't just try to do everything, because that's going to just make you a very confused person who is not really good at anything. Okay, try to become good at any one thing, even if it's just DSA. Okay, honestly, I was a person who did only DSA, no open source contributions, no internships, no competitive programming. But what I did was, I was really good at DSA. So if you can do that much also, it's fine. You can get good jobs, but you have to be really good at least one thing, so that the interviewer goes like, huh, this person stands out, we definitely have to hire him or her. Okay.
And
I
yeah,
Yeah.
Kirti, by the way, people who are asking about GSOC and open source, like we already had a workshops like separately only for open source and GSOC. So you can check out the recording. Go ahead and like on CPR websites, recording is there, so they can check the recording for to know more about in detail.
Thank you for that. I obviously did not know that you've already had sessions on that. Also, guys, it's really cool that you're having sessions on these things. When I was in NITC, I had absolutely no guidance. Okay, like things like CP Hub, I would say do encourage them and join them. And it's really sad that out of so many people, when you can have so many students from all the 4 years, only 80-90 people are here. And that's honestly very sad. More people should be thinking about, are we interested in software engineering or not, because college is the time when you should be exploring the maximum. Okay, so encourage your friends also to at least explore the options and think whether you are genuinely interested in software engineering or not. If you're genuinely interested, if you like coding, you're going to do really well. But if you're not interested, that's fine. But at least try to explore and really appreciate these guys for organizing events like these. Because when I was in college, I had absolutely no guidance. I remember messaging random seniors, like getting contacts randomly. Now though, you guys have so much guidance available on LinkedIn. There are so many content creators like me available, who will reply to you, who will be ready to give you as much guidance as possible. Okay, so take full advantage of us, is what I'm saying. Yep. Okay. Is software industry stressful? Now, this seems an interesting question. So, if you're someone who's interested in coding, if you're someone who really enjoys coding, it won't be that stressful. Because, see, if you're really good at it, you can easily get a job. Getting a job in software is not that hard, honestly, if you're good at it. So, if you are not finding one company good, you can easily switch to another company. But the obviously two prerequisites is, firstly you should be interested in it. Secondly, you should have fun coding. You should be good at it. Okay. Is it boring? Definitely not. See, there are a lot of types of companies. There are startups which seem to be doing like more, they work on new projects, right? Usually. And there are also big companies. So if working in a big company excites you, like, with huge teams, that's where you can go. If working on a new project or something, very exciting excites you can go over there. See, software is such a broad thing. Even software has a lot of things to it. Like, it's not just development, there's also something called DevOps. It's about how you bring your code live. Okay, DevOps is another thing that you can do. There's also testing, there's automation, there is data science, there is AI/ML. There are a lot of things to software. There's not just development. And even if development, there are so many languages. There is front end, there is back end, there is full stack. Like, you can easily choose what you want. If you're even remotely interested in coding, I would say it would never get boring, because you can always switch roles. Okay, I can see a continued question to this. For the 4 5 years down the line, will we still keep writing code, or when do we go to people management side? See, right now I have 4 years of experience, so I'm exactly where you are right now. Okay, when exactly where you are asking about, basically. So what happens as you get some experience, at least till I think 5 6 years of experience, yeah, you will be coding. But what happens, like right now, I have been team lead of a few small projects. Okay. Similarly, as I grow, I will have two options. Either I can go into proper like architecture role, which will mean I will design systems, which is a proper technical job, or which is a proper like very close to coding. Basically, I'll be designing the entire system of how things are going to look, and I'm going to tell the coders that, what, write code like this. Or I can go to management side. Nowadays, most of the coding companies, they prefer that even the people management have some experience in coding. Okay, people from MBA and all are like completely different. But when you have been coding, you can either go to people management side, or you can go to proper architecture side. Okay, so it's not like you will always be coding. And also, one thing, guys, in software industry, it is never that you're working on similar problems again and again, because the products that you will work on will always be different. The problems that you will face will always be different. Sometimes you'll be working in C++, Java. Sometimes you'll be working in React. You'll be working in completely different tech stack also. It depends on you whether you want to challenge yourself and work on new things, or you want to continue the same thing. It's completely up to you. In software, you take your career in the direction you want to. Like, I've seen people stay in the same company for 12 13 years, do the exact same thing. Okay, I personally find that very boring, but they find that very exciting, that I'm working on one particular thing itself. I'm taking this to huge places. That's what excites them. So different things excite different people. But never will it happen that you won't have enough opportunity to try new things, or it will get so boring that, okay, I've been doing the same thing. There will always be new things that you can do. In fact, most of the software engineers are like, कभी पढ़ाई खत्म ही नहीं होती, because you always have to keep studying. Even people like managers who have a lot of experience, they also keep studying a lot. They have to keep upskilling themselves, and they have to like keep doing better all the time. It is never like, now I can stop studying, because everyone is just improving. Tech is just evolving. There will always be new tech stack or something new to work on. So it will never happen that, I know enough, so now I don't need to know anything. Is it worthy to prepare for both at a time? Both as in, okay, I'm planning to prepare for both SDE as well as data scientist or data engineer. Can you give some guidance regarding this? Okay. Hi, Sunita. Preparing for both is good. What will happen is that you will get opportunities in both, but what will also happen is that uh, you will get less time to prepare for one thing. Okay, so you won't be an expert in exactly one thing, but what will happen during placements, you'll be able to sit for both data scientist, data engineer, as well as for dev roles. So you can sit for both sort of placements, and that is why you will have more opportunities. And I would say in college, that's what you should do. In college, you should try to explore as many things as you like, because once you try both the things, you will only get some rough idea of what interests you more. And obviously you will be a better candidate in the market because you are good at multiple things and not just at one thing. So you will be adding more value to a company than someone who is good at only one thing. So it's definitely a plus point according to me. If you can manage both the things together, well and good. But if you think you can't manage time and not even like decent enough to become like, if you don't have time to become decent at both, don't do both. Try to focus on one thing. But if you think you can manage being decent at both, do both the things. It will definitely add value. But don't be like, I was not able to do anything because I was trying to focus on both. Okay, don't do that. Okay. Tanmay is saying, Tanmoy or Tanmay, I'm sorry if I pronounce your names wrong. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. Tanmoy is saying how to prepare theory questions for coding interviews, what books and websites to follow. Okay. See, for theory, if you're someone who can just go through online things and blogs, I would say GFG has a lot of structured content. Okay, this is no promotion, but honestly, Geeks for Geeks does have a lot of structured content. Other than that, I followed two books. One was Cracking the Coding Interview by Gail Lackman, and one was uh, by Gail Lackman and by Tracking the Coding Interview and Ace of Karumanchi. Okay, so by Gail Lackman and by Karumanchi, these are the two books that I read, and these are two very good books for theory for DSC, and I would also suggest them. And but I think blogs and all are sufficient. I would say don't focus so much on theory, focus more on DSA and stuff. Okay, and for CS students, not just DSA, people will ask you computer networking and operating systems. A lot of companies will ask you just operating systems or just computer networking. For non-CS students, I would say have some basic knowledge of these two topics as well, at least from Geeks for Geeks or something. Okay, since someone asked me to put the books in the chat, so I'm going to do that. One is by Karumanchi and one is by Gail Lackman.
And by the way, Kirti, like for the DSA and all these stuffs, like you guys can join the CPF Discord server. In CPF, we weekly connect CPF beginner contests. So they are like very beginner friendly problems, and they are like same level questions are asked used to ask in the interview as well. And other than this, we have on CPF website CPF Summer of Code, where like from starting from C++ to the whole like number theory, graph theory, dynamic program, everything is there in blogs only. So check out the CPF website and join CPF server. You will find lots of there. Yeah, in chat is also there link. So yeah.
Guys, that's actually very cool, because when you join a community like this, what will happen if you get stuck? You can, discuss and clear your doubts also. And especially like when you are solving DSA and stuff, it's always helpful because you come to know, like, different approach to same problems. And also, sorry if I wrote the names of the books wrong. Uh, my personal preference is Gail Lackman's book because it has no usually very less number of mistakes. Karumanchi usually has some mistakes in that, and I used to not like the theory as much as I would used to like in Gail Lackman. So I would personally suggest, if you are a book person, try to buy Cracking the Coding Interview by Gail Lackman. None of this is promotion; it's my honest feedback. Okay, and also see, uh, there are a lot of opportunities available now, not just on LinkedIn, YouTube, Insta. Just be very aware of the things happening. Okay, in college, you do have a lot of time. See, if I am saying check out my YouTube channel, I'm not forcing you to check it out, okay? But there are a lot of mock coding interviews. There are a lot of mock things that will help you. There are tutorials that will help you. Similarly, there are other content creators also, okay, who are actually willing to help you and guide you. So it is you who has to come forward and take advantage of that. You have a lot of resources available. You have a lot of guidance also available. You just have to, take a step forward and make use of these things. I'm not saying that you have to follow my channel or you have to join the CP Hub community, but joining these things or subscribing might really help you, like genuine help. And at least explore now, at least try seeing and doing, because you're in college right now. If now also you don't do something that you really like, when will you do that, right? So yep. Can we reach
Yes.
out to you on LinkedIn for mock interviews? Hi, Namit. Uh, Definitely. But honestly, LinkedIn, I have like 88,000 followers over there. It becomes very hard and I do end up missing messages. So I would say ki message me on Insta. I see those messages more, like comparatively. And I will try my best to reply, and yeah, we can definitely do mock interviews. Okay. I also have a sort of a Google form available on my community page on my YouTube channel where you can contact me for mock interviews, both for my channel or for personal mock interviews. Okay. Yep. Continuing the questions. Um Pasumarthi is asking, can you share your experience as front-end developer and Project Vahanex? Oh, okay. I am glad that you have actually done the research and you know that I was a front-end developer there. So, for those of you who don't know, after my first company, uh, in my first company, I was a back-end developer and I wanted to become a full-stack developer. So, I made a choice and I joined a startup where I was the only employee, and they hired me. They said that, you know what, you have to do something from scratch all by yourself. And it was in a tech that I had never heard of. It was on Flutter, and I had never even heard that okay, there's something called Flutter and it's a front end development thing. How it happens, I knew nothing. And so I did everything googling, and I think that is the max I've ever learned, because I googled literally everything that I wanted to. And there were times when I was stuck and I spent days on it or hours on it. And from there, I went on to answering questions on Stack Overflow, because there was such less number of people who were actually working on Flutter. I became such an expert in that I was actually answering people on Stack Overflow. And that's another level of satisfaction, that only software engineers can understand, that you are answering people and you are clearing other people's doubts. So it was a very good experience overall. But personally, I found out that although I loved doing the front end thing and everything, I prefer back end more personally. There are people who prefer front end more, and there are people who prefer back end more. I became a full stack developer to really understand what I like doing more. So now, when I get an option, I choose backend. But the thing is that my companies, my recruiters, everyone knows that she's a full stack engineer. So she has a clear idea. She can contribute to both. It is never going to go like, oh, she doesn't know this, so she can't do that, right? So I'm a upskilled engineer who can do both the things, but I know my preference also. So if given an option, I can definitely choose that. And that's what I suggest you guys also to do, that explore most of the things, so that you have upskilled yourself and recruiters know that you can do this, this, and this. But you also know your preferences, that I prefer doing this or I prefer doing that. Okay. Unless you do something, you're not really coming to know that, okay, are you enjoying doing that or not, right? So, yep, I hope I answered your question well. Um, Mohammed Awad is asking me, do you think demand for engineers in software companies will keep on increasing? I don't know about increasing or decreasing, but right now there's a lot of demand. There is so much demand that even if you're good at it, you will definitely get a good job. The thing is that there's a huge gap between the skills that people are providing and the skills that companies are looking for. Because once you become good at something, you'll get a lot of opportunities. But becoming good at something is what a lot of people are not able to get on. Like, people focus on a lot of random things, but they don't focus on the core skills that companies are looking forward to. So once you upskill yourself, you will definitely get a lot of opportunities and a lot of options. And honestly, software engineering is something that if you're enjoying, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of opportunities. You can obviously switch, and you can, there are so many options available. Now that there is work from home, and as I said, there are so many other platforms and so many other kinds of work that you can do, that you'll never get bored, and there'll always be demand. The only prerequisite is that you should be good at what you're doing. Otherwise, though, there are lakhs and crores of engineers, and there are so many companies also. So if you're not good at it, you'll not get a good job. But if you're good at it, you will get a lot of opportunities with a lot of good jobs. Yep. Uh, we are hearing that a lot of IT employees are resigning their jobs because of the stress or the other problems in the work. What are the problems and difficulties faced by the software developer in day-to-day life? Hi, Gutta Banu Prakash Chaudhary. That's a big name. Uh, See, there's going to be stress in work. That's definitely for sure. But how you handle it depends on you. Okay. uh, there can be multiple people in the same team. One person is handling the stress really well, and the other person is not handling the stress at all. Okay. So it completely depends on you, what sort of expectations you're setting, right? And if you don't like a job, you can definitely switch it. People are resigning because they can afford to resign, because they can get jobs in better places. Uh, so there'll always be pressure. Firstly, how you handle it depends on you. You can easily set the expectation, right? There are a lot of good companies who focus on work life balance, who want you to have a balance and want you to focus on other things also. So it's not like you can't work without pressure. You make the choice essentially. And if you're resigning also, you'll have a lot of options. So there is no fixed thing that, oh my god, there are no opportunities, or now what we are going to do if we can't handle the pressure. How much important is role of project in your placement? Hi Namit, again, it's a plus point. It your entire interview can end up being, about your project, and how you worked on it, what you did on it, and that will obviously a plus point, a huge plus point, that you already have worked on something, right? And if it's interesting, great. uh, but if you don't have it, it's not like, people are going to go like, oh, the person has never worked on any project, so we are not going to hire. If you answer the questions well, you're going to get hired. But if you also have a project, it's a definitely a huge plus point. Okay. How do we manage this multiple interests like you went through your front and back end development? So in college too, you must be having a lot of time, honestly. So make use of all the time you have. I know, there's also the time when you should explore other opportunities, not just software engineering related, not just work related, but you have to manage your time. And I think this is the time when you should make time to explore for more things, like just be like good at time management, maybe like do one thing for 1 week, another thing for another week. Completely depends on you, but make sure that you make a lot of time for that. Yep. Do you think you can defeat your father in coding after your intense training to him? That's a
Yeah,
very good
we have
question.
some questions from the Google Forms. I'm just pasting it here.
Sorry, can you
Yeah, like
repeat that?
we have some questions from the Google form. Like many
Okay.
students have filled them, so I'm just pasting them here because there are so many questions.
Sure. Yeah, feel free to paste them in the chat. I'll keep taking them. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, Coming to the fun question, my father has done a lot of coding with me on videos, but he doesn't practice offline. He's very lazy when it comes to that. So, no, I don't think he can defeat me. Uh, but we can defeat your father. You can defeat my father. That depends. If I train him well, no, I don't think he'd be able to defend him. He's very lazy essentially when it comes to coding. So if I train him enough and he is like, okay, I have to go for a competition, he can definitely defeat you. Do you play chess? Yes, I do play chess. In fact, almost every day with my friends. Your favorite memories during college life? A lot of them, majorly because I had a lot of friends in college. I used to be in the fashion show team. I was actually the captain of the fashion show team. So, a lot of memories about that. Ragam used to be my favorite time. I walked on Ragam stage 4 times. and that itself is a huge memory, right? Uh, LND and debutante, conducting debutante. I participated in a lot of events. I'm sure it's the same names, right? Debutante and all. I'm not sure if you guys also have the same names now.
Yeah,
I
it is same actually.
it is same, right? And
Yes.
what about the cultural club, the Sangam? Do you have Sangam also?
Sangam, actually, like nowadays it's online, so like
Okay.
even I'm in third year, but I also had been only for one semester in college, so
Yeah, right, right, right. So it's very sad for you guys, but for me, I participated in a lot of events. From first day itself, I was very active, so I used to enjoy a lot. कभी मीटिंग हिंदी में भी होगी क्या? हाय धनराज. Interestingly, in college, I was one of the few Hindi North Indian people. So I used to conduct all the Hindi events in Debutante and in LND. I was the Hindi person over there. And considering you guys are from NITC and maximum people don't understand Hindi, I prefer keeping it in English. But if you guys want just a Hindi thing, we can do that also. My favorite cricketer, definitely Dhoni, anytime. I'm a huge Dhoni fan. I have a reel on him. My brother and I are obsessed with Dhoni. We have a lot of things of Dhoni, like hoodie and posters and a lot of stuff. Huge Dhoni fan. Uh, Okay, a lot of questions. Is opening a YouTube channel being an SD mandatory or not? Oh no, definitely not mandatory. I'm doing something as fun. It's a lot of work. It's not something that everyone can do. It's not something that everyone likes also. So only if you're really interested in doing that, do it. Otherwise, no. There are, I think there are like 10, 15 people or max say 50 people who are running YouTube channels, and you know how many software engineers are there. So definitely not mandatory. What is the importance of CP Hub? I guess CP Hub people want to reply to that. Do you guys want to reply, or what all
yes.
things you do?
Yes, sure. Like I will summarize within 1 or 2 minutes. So as Kirti told that, like when you join the community, the main benefit, like we do the every week we conduct the contest. So you can check, you can say like how much rank you get inside our campus, like how much level you are coding in R and other from this. Like when you will be in CP Hub, so you will be like you will be in an environment where people are doing coding. So you will eventually, so you will also do the coding. You will continue. You will get an environment that's really helpful. To be continue coding. You might get demotivated, but if you have a good environment, so you will keep continue. So yeah, these are the major benefit. Like you can learn anywhere, but getting an environment is something that we provide in our college, and that's really beneficial, I think.
Guys, when I was in NITC 4 years ago, we had no proper coding community. So, definitely great job to you guys. Okay. And I hope I get to, come there offline someday and meet you guys. But it's definitely a great thing that, NITC finally has a good programming society and, people who really encourage these things. So, I would highly, highly recommend you to be part of it and be active over there. Although you guys are really fun, Joel has actually commented me say our favorite memory and output is none. That's a bit sad, but guys, it's okay. It's going to be, COVID has made things a bit sad, but also has given a lot of other opportunities, right? So it's okay. You will have different kind of favorite memories. It's chill. Diksha is asking any tips on work-life balance for upcoming STs. You manage it pretty well from YouTube to LinkedIn to system design to paintings to dance videos to trying new skills. Hi Diksha, thank you so much for such a huge compliment. Work-life balance, don't let I when I started working, I was working like 17, 18 hours just working, okay. And that became a very sad thing, and I realized I'll burn out like that until I reached a point where I was like, you know what, I have to maintain a balance. So I was like, I'm going to do my office work only this much time to this much time, and I'm going to upskill myself. Like, as software engineers, you also have to work on your coding skills, on your development skills. So I manage a lot of that. YouTube is something that I love doing. LinkedIn, system design. I have made a choice to be a content creator. So I do that. There are also people who do dancing or who do singing or who do painting. There are definitely a lot of inspirational stuff happening. If you do just office work, it gets boring, honestly. You travel, you enjoy your life. And that's how I think you get to contribute better also in office as well. So, yep.
Yeah, Kirti, by the way, like we released the form and people filled it. Like they are messaging, like we filled the form, please take our question as well. So we want to take questions from the form. Like session is about to end.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so actually today I am from the mobile because like I have an electricity issue. So my laptop is dead. So I asked to Varshit to open Google Form and ask the question. Yeah,
Okay, got it,
Varshit,
got it.
please.
Okay, sure. So
Okay.
Varshit is putting all the Google
Yeah,
doc.
Yeah,
I'm
actually, they are like selling like we please ask ours as well. Like so yeah,
Guys,
Varshit,
you
please
can
ask.
ask me now also. It's okay. Like you can ask me.
Actually, yeah, some students like they prefer to not reveal name. I don't know why, but
I
it's
get
like
that. I get that. It's fine. It's completely fine. Will two SD people make good couple? Definitely, if you like being with someone you can discuss things with, definitely good couple. There are too many office love stories. When you get into office, there are going to be a lot of couples there, and sometimes it gets very sad for single people. But it depends from person to person. Some people have prefer having couple, like the second person who is from another profile. Some people prefer it to be the same profile person. So depends. Answering all sorts of questions. Uh, Indoor games or outdoor games or mobile games or no games at all. All sorts of games with balance. I play a lot of mobile games like chess and stuff. I also play outdoor games like I was in basketball team in NITC. Indoor games also. I like playing games, all sorts of games. I'm always active for all things. Do you think of higher studies? Any guidance on that? I personally, for me, I believe that uh, higher studies won't add that much value considering how much I will end up spending. I think I can learn those things myself. Uh, like I don't need it, but considering that I am into software engineering, I don't need it. But if you want to switch your profile to like complete management MBA line, then yeah, usually MBA helps, like you get a much better uh, package also. But for at least software, I think by switching companies or by upgrading yourself, upskilling yourself itself, you end up getting a good enough package. Unless you want to do PhD and you want to get into research and stuff, uh, I would say that without MS Tech also you're good to go. But if you are really interested in getting a job outside India and you want to explore and do MS, then yeah, you can invest in that. But personally, I didn't feel the need to it, so I am not going to do uh, any higher studies as of now. Maybe I might take like offline, like online things. Maybe I'm not sure, but definitely not like quit job and take like a full time college thing. Maybe online side thing I might keep doing, but definitely not this. Uh, okay. Last few questions, guys, since we are running out of time. Also, please, before you guys leave, please do subscribe my YouTube channel. Please do check out the content if you like it. And Insta, LinkedIn. Insta is very chill sort of vibe, and I'll answer all your questions. So please do connect with me if you like my content. Okay.
yes,
Um,
and definitely Insta. Once you will follow, like you will get addicted from contents. I can say. So yeah, check out guys.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment. Thank you so much. Um, is learning data science from IIT Madras diploma degree a good opinion? I have no idea about how stressful it's gonna be with DSA and CP. I am from biotech, so I really want to stand apart. That's really good that you want to stand apart. And being from biotech, I think it's a in like smart choice, right? Yeah, you should definitely do these extra things. About how stressful it is going to be, I would say contact your seniors from the IIT Madras diploma degree itself, because every course is different, right? Even in NITC, I can't really answer how different the pressure is going to be for biotech students or for triple E students unless you have really gone through that. So contact seniors from exactly that diploma degree in that college itself to understand how stressful it is going to be. But definitely do your research before taking up any decision, because it's a huge decision to make. But being from biotech, I would definitely suggest that you need to make a better profile and stand apart. So yeah, you do need to put an extra effort. Yep. uh, how do you manage content to maintain consistency for practicing for DSA problems along with studies at NITC? See, for me, I was very clear studying in NITC. As I said, I just wanted to have like a cutoff wala pointer, and I really stopped caring about pointers so much, and I was focusing majorly on DSA. So it's a choice that you have to make. And plus, I think you can do decent enough by studying like 2 3 days before, unless like you're from triple E and you have always have like lab records and stuff, which is very sad. But yep, you have to make your prioritize and make your choice, because see, 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, especially after 3 years, to no one's going to really bother how much pointer you had, unless you're interested in it. But DSA is something that's going to take you a long way. So uh, take your make choices wisely is what I would say. Okay. Is it people are saying have subscribed and followed? Thank you so much, Ronak. It means a lot to me. If I added some value to you guys by doing this session, please do let me know, and I hope it was of some help at least. Uh, is it better to take MTech right after BTech, or like after having job experience and then decide on more interest? See, I would personally suggest for software engineers, I would say MTech won't add that much value. Or maybe for electrical, civil, and all, if you want to do MTech in that, yeah, definitely. For software, I would really suggest, like personally, that get a job and get some more idea about it and then go for MTech, because many people like you can do decent well enough by without MTech also. I don't think it's going to add such a huge value to you. So do proper research, talk to the people who have actually done MTech and understand did it really add that much value. Because for software engineers, I personally don't think it adds that much value. Okay. Okay, I'm really glad that you guys really like this session. uh, should we stop taking the questions? Okay, I'll take last two questions. Okay, last two questions.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, yeah, you can continue.
okay. How was the work-life balance at Introvert? It was really good, and I've actually made a lot of videos. I have a separate playlist on Introvert. I've made a video with my manager. I have a video with the HR head of Introvert, which is pretty cool stuff, I think. And my work-life balance was pretty chill, majorly because of my team and my manager. It was very chill. I know you are from Triple E, so I want to ask that there are any Triple E subjects that help to crack software job. No, I did not like Triple E so much. There were a few subjects, but I found the teachers very strict and stringent and very conservative and stuff. So I never really enjoyed Triple E that much. Personal opinion. I do have friends who went into core Triple E jobs and they're doing great, but I personally did not like it so much. And it did not help me also crack jobs. It was majorly DSA, and I also did a bit of computer networking, operating systems, the basic stuff, and that's what helped me. So, yep. I'm going to stop taking the questions now, and I'm really glad that,
Yeah, no problem. First of all, thank you so much for coming to and joining the sessions, and it was really very funny. Like even didn't realize 1 hour is spent and chat is completely filled with the queries. So definitely we can have one more sessions like that. So yeah, so no problem.
yeah,
We
this
can
is
speak
my
now.
college. I'll be more than happy to come again and again. Invite me whenever you want. And I hope offline also I get to meet you guys someday.
Yeah, like we are also very excited like when it's going to be offline and like meeting with the alumni in offline and that would be very cool. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much,
So
guys, and feel free to message me on Insta, LinkedIn, anywhere. I look forward to your messages. Thank you.
yes, thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, again, thank you. So bye.
Bye,
Take care.
everyone. Have a good night. Bye.